today I want to show you a recipe for French toast using sourdough bread. If you've never had sourdough French toast, you're in for a treat. So here we go. So when you've had sourdough made and it's the third or fourth day, you see how in slicing this it's dried out a fair amount. At this point, eating it fresh is really not pleasurable. But you can still make good things with it, and toast is particularly good. Whether regular toast or French toast, both of those are good uses for your sourdough that's less than fresh. So here I'm just kind of slicing up the remainder of what I have of half a loaf that I made. Let's see, I made it like 4 days ago. Be careful cutting this because a slip of the knife would be disastrous. I also had some that I had saved from a previous loaf that I had left over. So I'm going to combine these and make, I would say probably 3 servings of French toast. So in figuring out how much French toast you want to make, here I want to make 3 servings. I normally would use 1 egg or maybe a bit more than 1 egg per serving. Here I'm going to use 4 eggs for 3 servings of French toast. And I'll show you how we're going to put this together. Let's crack our eggs into a medium-sized bowl. Just want to beat these a little bit. I'm using a fork here. You could use a whisk. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla. It's about a teaspoon. Maple syrup. Not really measuring anything here. Just going to go in by feel. Just want a little bit of sweetness in this. Milk. Some cinnamon. A little bit of nutmeg. Here I'm going to grate some fresh nutmeg into it. But you can use already ground nutmeg, it's fine. It wasn't much, it was maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon at the most. I'll put a little bit more milk in here. Now get yourself a pan. I'm using here just a cookie sheet. And arrange your pieces of bread on it. You may not have enough room for all of this. I need a bigger cookie sheet, is really what I need. Now just pour your egg mixture over your bread. And then we're just going to kind of turn these over a few times. Turn it over. And now we're going to let this soak because sourdough is fairly dense bread to begin with, and now this is a bit older sourdough. It's less fresh, so it takes time for this to soak. You can actually even do this the night before and cover it with plastic wrap and put it in your refrigerator, because I want this to pretty much soak up as much of the mixture as possible. What I'm going to do is periodically flip these as it soaks, and in that way I hope to get the egg mixture to really soak into the bread. Alright, so I'm going to let this soak. Alright, so while the bread has been soaking, I toasted some walnuts. You can use pecans here if you like, or you can leave the nuts out. It's up to you. But for this I want to make a kind of a walnut-studded French toast, if you will. This has been soaking now for maybe an hour, close to an hour. It's pretty much soaked up the mixture, and it's gotten a lot more tender. I have to be careful now picking it up and turning it, because it's gotten soft, and that's what I was looking for. It's gotten very tender. What we're going to get with this is a really nice crisp outside, nice and browned, and then inside is going to be soft and just delicious. Okay, so I got my pieces ready here. I'm not even really quite fitting on the tray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in some of these nuts to the surface. Now I've chopped these roughly so that the pieces are still kind of good size, so you can really notice it when you get a piece in your bite. Okay, just as many as you want. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm doing maybe 5 or 6 per slice. This one is got a giant hole in it. Can't really put a nut there. All right, so that's probably good. And then I just want to kind of press these into the toast. All right, they're going to kind of sink down in. See how they're kind of sinking in, and they're going to stay in there because they are inside the bread now. Now preheat your griddle on medium low. Don't put any butter on it yet. Let's let it preheat first. All right, my griddle is preheated now, and I'm going to put a goodly amount of butter. Butter is what's going to make these taste so good. Turn my griddle down just a smidge. All right, and now we're simply going to carefully put these pieces of French toast on there, nut side down. Okay. Don't be afraid to use your hands for this. It's the best way. And see, I'm pushing them down a little bit. Make sure those nuts really get down into the bread. Okay, now I need a small piece for this space over here. That one's going to hang in there because the egg's going to be cooking in there and setting things up. I don't have enough room on my griddle for these last 3 pieces, but they'll be the next batch. And we're going to let these cook until the sides are nicely browned. I want to press them a little bit. That one is starting to fall apart a little bit. It's gotten so soft, but that's a good thing because it's going to make this French toast really wonderful. Oh, you hear our dogs barking over there. There's always something to bark at here in Thailand. We have a herd of buffaloes, water buffaloes, that comes by every morning. In fact, they're out there now. Let me see if I can show you real quickly. Ah, the buffaloes. Sawadee krab, Git. Khopพระเจ้าอวยพรครับ Well, a little time out there from the French toast. Now, I'm going to pick out one of the pieces that's kind of maybe the sturdiest one. Lift it up a little bit and peek under and see what I'm looking like on that side. Ah, it's looking good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of butter down into the middle of the griddle here. And I'm going to flip these pieces over and be very careful doing it because they're still a little tender. That one's not too bad. Get this butter to spread around a little bit. If you're afraid of butter, then this recipe is not for you, because butter is one of the things that's going to make it really, really nice. Flipping these over, and this one's stuck with the other piece. Get off there. Looking carefully if possible. Okay, that was not so good, but it worked. It's looking pretty good. All right, we cook these till they're ready. In grilling this French toast, bear in mind that we soaked these for quite a while, and the egg mixture has gone all the way through the pieces of bread, which are fairly thick. So you need to kind of cook them low and slow to make sure the egg mixture cooks all the way through. We don't want to get a nasty surprise in the middle with undone egg. So take our time and make sure that it gets nicely done. I think these are about ready, so I want to get my plate and kind of take a look. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, this is about how I want them. Okay, that's good. It may look a little dark, but it's actually going to be real tasty. And I'm putting these back over again, so the nuts you don't see. So when somebody takes some of this, they're going to be a bit surprised that, hey, there's walnuts in here. Yum, that looks really nice. All right, I'm going to do the remaining pieces that I had that I couldn't fit on the griddle. Add a bit more butter to my griddle for the last couple of pieces here. And we'll cook these up. I'm going to serve these with maple syrup. If you like, you can sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar over the top, or a powdered sugar would be nice.